The UK government launched the third review of the state pension back in July 2025, but you don't have to navigate these things alone. What we can say though quite clearly is this. Now for one final crucial question before we say ta-ta. The prospect of having to work until 67 can feel like a life sentence for many. For people in physically demanding roles in particular, or those battling health challenges or worried about their health, or just worried about how long they're going to live, it's not just a date on a calendar, is it? It's a question of whether our bodies and our minds can actually make it to 67. Now in the UK, the state pension age is currently 66, but it's set to rise to 67 by 2028 for anyone born after April 1960. That means if you're in your late 50s, like me, or younger, 67 is likely to be the earliest you'll be able to claim that their state pension. As of the 25-26 tax year, the full new state pension is just a wee bit short of £12,000 a year. A figure that's not designed to pay for a life of luxury, I think you'll agree. And it makes the government's decision to push the age back a significant factor in your retirement prosperity. Now, just to give you a bit of an insight, as of now, which is October 2025, as I'm sat here, the UK government launched the third review of the state pension back in July 2025. Now this is a crucial routine process required by law every 6 years. Its purpose is to assess whether the rules for the pension age are still actually appropriate, taking into account the latest life expectancy data and other factors. Currently, the state pension age is legislated to rise from 66 to 67 between 2026 and 2028, and it's also scheduled to increase to 68 in the mid-2040s. But this new review could very well bring that timeline forward. Whilst the government isn't forced to accept the recommendations of this particular review, or any review actually, a sooner increase is a real possibility. Now for many, perhaps even most, the state pension is a vital part of their retirement plan. But with the timetable for claiming it potentially shifting, it highlights a crucial point. The state pension should be considered an important piece of the retirement puzzle, but it cannot be considered to be the whole picture. Staying up to date on these developments and understanding how they might impact your personal timeline is absolutely vital. If you're unsure about what these changes mean for you and your retirement plans, seeking professional advice may well be a sensible step. Which brings me to my next point. The Office for National Statistics, our good friends at the ONS, their data gives us some even more sobering thoughts. According to the most recent figures, healthy life expectancy in England is estimated to be 61.5 years for boys and 60.3 years for girls. So just think about that for a minute. The average person can expect to live in good health for just over 61 years. So if you're told to work until 67, or you have to work until you're 67, that's almost 6 years beyond your healthy life expectancy. Now this isn't just an unfortunate possibility, it's the average reality for many. You aren't just planning for life after retirement, you're planning for how little of it you might actually get to enjoy if you wait too long. Now we're often encouraged to believe that work is our purpose and that early retirement is nothing but a dream. But the truth is our bodies and minds aren't really built to handle full-time graft for 40 to 50 years. Chronic stress, poor sleep and a lack of time with loved ones all take a toll, and life, let's face it, is pretty blink and stressful. Retirement isn't just about stopping work, it's about embracing a lovely new chapter of your life on your terms. It's about having the freedom to do all the great things you didn't have time to do when you were working. More travel, more quality time with loved ones, more time with the kids and the grandkids and the great grandkids, or simply waking up each day and choosing how you want to live it. The question isn't should I work until 67, but what life am I giving up if I wait? I know with everything going on right now, the rising cost of living, the changes to pensions, legislation and all of the uncertainty in the world, generally it's easy to feel very overwhelmed. Honestly, I do get it. It can feel like the goalposts are constantly shifting, making it very hard to plan for your future. But you don't have to navigate these things alone. We're committed to keeping you updated on all of these developments and many more. But if you want to move from just being informed to feeling confident and in control, that's where we excel. Our expert team provides complimentary initial reviews, and during this session we'll discuss your current financial situation, your goals, your dreams, your worries, your concerns, and we're going to work with you really really closely to create a tailored plan designed to give you the confidence and peace of mind that your future's going to be okay, whatever okay looks like. Now, there's no obligation and no cost to going through this review either. You don't have to become a client if you don't want to, although of course we'd love you to. The link to learn more about our services, about us, and to book that free review is in the description below. Please take a chance to have a look when you can. Let's consider some of the other factors that can influence a person's decision to work until 67. A key reason people don't want to work until 67 is the toll it can take on their well-being. Now, individuals in physically demanding jobs might face chronic health issues, making continued employment difficult or impossible. Your body might choose you have to retire is the reality. Similarly, those in high stress or particularly unfulfilling roles might well experience burnout and a decline in mental health. Our brains might decide it's time to retire. The emotional and physical exhaustion of decades in the workforce can make the final years feel like a really heavy burden, eroding the potential for a fulfilling retirement to start with, but even impacting your health further. And here's the catch: working longer can also mean there's less time to enjoy retirement whilst you are fit and healthy. I think that's pretty obvious, but I think we forget that sometimes. For some, those extra years of income might come at a massive cost in terms of time with family, time to travel, or simply just having more freedom to slow down. I think here's what most people don't understand enough. Time is your most valuable resource. It is more valuable than money. It's more valuable than status, because once it's gone, it's gone. If you wait to retire until 67, you might have already lost the years when you can travel, when your knees and back and joints didn't object to hours on planes, trains and automobiles. Now, I'm in my late 50s and I can tell you joint pain is real. Retiring early gives you back that time whilst you're still able to use it wisely and well. Now, I'm just going to pause here for a moment and say we have done a number of videos on early retirement and the steps that you can take, so I'll share that at the end of this video, so look out for that. So beyond the physical, there's the mental toll of waiting to retire. Work stress is actually one of the biggest contributors to anxiety, depression and burnout. There are actually very few of us still in jobs we love, and working jobs you don't enjoy, or just working to survive for that matter, well, that'll eat away at your happiness. Mental health improves dramatically for people who retire early. So whilst the desire for an early retirement is often a personal one, the reality for many is that financial circumstances dictate their decisions. As we have just mentioned, the rising cost of living, ongoing mortgage payments, and the financial support of adult children for university or housing, for example, all of that can create a situation where working is actually a necessity, not a choice. It's important to recognise that for these individuals, retirement might not be an option until their financial obligations are met, regardless of their personal desires. Whilst financial pressures do often dominate the conversation, many people do find unexpected benefits to working past the traditional retirement age, however. So what are the upsides to a later retirement? Let's have a think about that. Well, we've talked about the pressures of not retiring as soon as you can, but what if the story isn't about an earlier retirement? What if working past 60, 65, 67, 70 isn't just a necessity but a strategic decision with real rewards? Because we do come across clients that are happy working and want to continue for as long as they possibly can. So for some, it becomes a choice to build a more comfortable, more secure future, a way to make sure that you're truly ready for what's next, or a way to just fill your time with something that you really do enjoy. And if that's you, that's great. Think of it like this: every extra year you work then can be a golden opportunity. Your pension pot has more time to grow. Fantastic. Imagine your workplace or personal pension as a vegetable patch. Every year you continue to work and contribute, you're not just adding new seeds, you're giving everything more time to get big and plump and fat. The state pension offers a potential benefit if you choose to defer claiming it as well. For every 9 weeks you delay, your payments increase by 1%, which works out at just under 5.8% for each full year you delay. Now, whilst this may seem modest, the compounding effect can actually meaningfully boost your income over the long term. However, deferring isn't right for everybody. Whether it's beneficial depends on your health and your life expectancy particularly, and financial circumstances as well. So whilst the idea of working beyond 67 can feel a bit daunting, it's worth weighing the potential for a more financially resilient future alongside your own situation. That includes your health, your employment, your stability as a person, and broader financial plan. And it's at this point that you might start to wonder how all these different pieces fit together. It's a balancing act, of course, course, the financial logic of working to 67 might make sense on paper, but life isn't really about a spreadsheet, is it? The real question is, what's the right balance between financial security and enjoying the years you have? Because you don't know the answer to that last one. There isn't a one-size-fits-all. For some, working to 67 will feel smart. It boosts their retirement income and keeps them engaged in life. For others, it may feel like too high a cost in terms of well-being and personal happiness. Do you want more money in your life? Do you want more time in your life? What we can say though quite clearly is this: planning early, checking your state pension forecast, understanding your workplace and your private pensions, and how you properly structure your cash and your other investments can give you more choices and usually better decisions. So what do you think? Is working until 67 a sensible plan, or should we be finding ways to step back sooner? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Pop them in the comments below. You might be able to help other people understand why they feel the way they do. If you found this helpful, please check out our other videos on pensions and retirement planning in the UK. There's lots of them on this channel. And remember, this is not advice, it's education. If you're making decisions about your own retirement, always speak to a qualified financial advisor regulated by the FCA. Now, for one final crucial question before we say ta-ta. Do you know the amount you'll really need in savings and investments and pensions to have the comfortable retirement you've been dreaming of? I'll be really surprised if you do know that number, because everybody we talk to does not. If that question leaves you a little uncertain, do not worry either. Our next video's got you covered. Why don't you click here? See you there.